至少
他至少50岁了。
他至少至少至少兴奋兴奋兴奋兴奋兴奋至少至少兴奋兴奋
他兴奋的睡不着觉。
兴奋至少干杯干杯 水气。注册，不能。
There are 3 reasons why your quads are growing, even though you're eating 3 times a week.
至少。啊，至少。兴奋，挺强。 吉他，还有什么是吉他？你要说，你要说，你要说。我平常至少再次。来自兴奋。
p.m. on a Friday in August. And I'm holding the chair for this meeting. I'm Josh Hankerstein. I'm looking forward to working with you all productively.
Hello again, and welcome back. I hope you're all coping right now. And this is the video instruction for the week part C++ for the 51049 as the professional practice unit. So in this video, I will be explaining what we would like you to do before you come to the tutorial this week, so that you will be fully prepared for the in-class discussion we will be holding. And as usual, I will also give you a detailed context as to why we like you to conduct this week. This week's free-class task. I will then discuss how you can complete the task. But unlike in the previous weeks where you like to complete the task after you watch a discussion video, you will be completing the task this week as you watch the video, which is why this video is a little bit longer than usual. So the task for you to complete this week is to produce a written record of a formal online meeting. And for this purpose, you will find later in this video a pre-recorded meeting, and you will be documenting what was discussed and decided in that meeting as the meeting takes place. This written record, once finalized with the template, is called meeting minutes, and this will be your before your submission for this week. With this said, before we start anything, I should probably explain what makes formal meetings actually formal. We will discuss this a bit more later in this week, but for now, let's say that these meetings commonly have a certain structure, such as exclusive membership, agreed purposes and set dates, as well as a process to follow, both during and outside of the meeting. And in this process, the idea of documentation becomes very important in order to make sure all these rules are followed, and also any decisions and deliberations are recorded well, so that those who make those decisions can be accounted. We will discuss these rules and process a little bit more in detail later in the week, but for now, all you need to know is that there are two documents that keep the formal meetings going. One is called the meeting agenda, which is basically a list of things to be discussed at the meeting, and for the task you will be completing, you have a downloadable copy of the meeting agenda below this video, which is shown on the screen. At the meeting, someone whose role is called chair or chairperson will be facilitating the discussion, and they will be following this agenda as a roadmap. Your job will be that of a minute taker, that is to keep accurate records of what was discussed and decided, which will then be finalized as meeting minutes. What you see here is a template provided for this week's task, and you will find it in the same document as the meeting agenda provided. At this stage, I would like you to note the alignment between the agenda and the minutes. One is used as a list of things to discuss, and another being a record of what was discussed. Together, they form part of the very fabric of formal meetings to keep it going. So, in a minute or so, we will launch straight into the pre-recorded mock meeting, if you like, and you will be hypothetically attending as one of the attendees. But before you start, please make sure you have the following handy. So first of all, you will need to have the agenda all downloaded, which will function as a roadmap for the meeting, as I said earlier. And then it would be good if you have a notebook or something similar to keep notes as you go through the meeting. As said, there is also a template for meeting minutes in the same document where you find the agenda, so you can technically type things in. But please note that not all the things you take notes will then not be. You may by now wonder why we ask you to do this seemingly pesky task. There are two reasons for it. First of all, taking good minutes as an accurate record of the meeting is not something anyone can do. You need to have the good understanding of the organization, its structure, and the processes. At the same time, it demands you to have the skills to identify what is going on in the often messy discussions being held in the meeting. It may not be the most glamorous job ever, but it is a well-recognized responsibility for which some organizations only deploy staff at certain seniority. And in light of this week's topic, which is situational management, this task allows you to practice the skills you will use to be an observant participant in order to grasp the nature of the situation, which is something you will need to have even before you start contributing your own expertise. Now, secondly, as you'd imagine, this is not a task that is a given playground, meaning that if you volunteer to do it, you will be like many people. And the experience of taking minutes actually creates so many interactions with colleagues and senior people, and it will also give you many insights into the ways the organization works. But in order for you to chip in, you will of course need to have the skills to keep minutes in the first place. One of my past students told me once that he just hated this activity when he was doing this unit, but later he found this activity to be the most useful. I'm not quite sure if I'm selling it like that to get the idea of it. So with all that in mind, and assuming you have everything you need ready, let me explain the setting for the pre-recorded mock meeting together. So let's assume that you are working for a company called Monash Consulting, and you are working in the IT department. Monash Consulting has so many work areas within, and so many staff do not even know what the IT department does. So a few years ago, the then manager of the IT department came up with this idea of having a committee dedicated to interdepartmental liaisons in order to promote the department's expertise to other sections within Monash Consulting. And you are attending today one of the committee's regular meetings, which are supposed to take place 4 times a year. It is actually a formal committee recognized by the management of Monash Consulting, and there is even this terms of reference, which is like a rule book that sets out the committee's requirements, including its obligation to keep both agenda and minutes for all its meetings. As it happens, and it can really happen, due to the flux of staff changes in the department, aside from the chair of the committee, which will be played by Josh Hackerstein as the manager of the department, all the members of the committee, including yourself, are actually new to this meeting. And as stated earlier, in this meeting, you will be participating as a minutes taker. So what you need to do is to take notes as the meeting goes on, so that you can later consolidate them as minutes for the meeting. Not all of what you scribe will end up in the minutes, but take as much relevant information as possible in your notes so that you won't miss anything important. Our advice is not to worry too much about who said what, unless it is specifically requested to be recorded. The focus is what was discussed and decided. You are not preparing transcripts after all. So with that as background, let's start the meeting.
All right. Hello everyone, and welcome. If I could thank you all for coming to the second, or the second IT department liaison meeting for this year 2022. I'll call this meeting to order at 5:20 p.m. on a Friday, the 12th of August. And I'll be the chair for this meeting. I'm Josh Hackerstein. I'm looking forward to working with you all productively. And I know that some of you are new to this community, so I might just explain a bit of background before we get started. So as you know, Monash Consulting has all sorts of different business areas within it, and quite often many staff don't actually know that much about what the IT department within the organization actually does. And so the first manager of the IT department, my predecessor, came up with the idea of having a committee dedicated to departmental liaisons in order to share the department's expertise with the other organization of Monash Consulting. And you are of course attending one of the regular meetings which are supposed to take place 4 times a year. And so, as I mentioned, we do have a few things to get through today, and hopefully we'll have a chance to look at the agenda. So I hope that I can ask someone to move the agenda in order to confirm it.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to make sure that we all are on the same page.
Move the agenda in order.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to make sure that we all are on the same page. So we are now starting at the very beginning of the agenda, in case you missed this. Here, Josh, as the chair of the meeting, is trying to get the group's agreement that there is no change required in the current meeting agenda. In other words, the group is now needing to make a decision to accept this agenda as is, and this is where a formal decision-making process will need to come in. And you probably noticed that Josh said something strange, like move the agenda. Now, this is the first step of the formal decision-making process in a formal meeting, and what Josh is really asking members to do is to get someone to make a proposal to the group that they vote for confirming the agenda as is. This proposal is called a motion, and you will see one of the members here doing exactly that. Hence, it will keep the process moving into the next step.
I can move the agenda, Josh.
Thanks so much. So we have to move the agenda for our discussions today.
And once the motion is moved, we will need someone else to step in to support the proposal, so that the group can proceed with voting for and against the proposal. The person who chips in at this stage is called a seconder, and they are set to second the proposal for the motion. In other words, we need at least 2 members to get something for vote. So in a moment, you will have Josh inviting members attendance to second demotion, which was moved by Zakia earlier, and this will be followed by Ryan performing to second demotion.
Right. Correct. So you second that motion.
I would like to second it.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
And you have just seen Ryan seconding the proposal to confirm the agenda, and this will now be followed by a voting process facilitated by Josh. And this will also see the voting right-voting resolution that is for this committee to accept the current agenda without any change. There are different ways of describing this stage. One can say that the motion was passed or carried, or the resolution has reached, and so on. Given this meeting was held over Zoom, you will also notice Josh inviting the members to put their hands up to indicate their agreement, but in reality you will see some subtle differences and variations. For now though, let's not too worry about those details and focus on grasping the steps and the pace of the decision-making process overall. So let us see.
So we have the agenda up for the vote now. If I could ask all those in favour, and maybe just for our ease, if you could use the hand up, the thumbs up response on Zoom if you're happy to vote for the agenda to do with, or the thumbs down for against. Excellent. Thanks so much, everyone. And the agenda was confirmed unanimously.
And now that the motion has passed, these are some examples of how the minutes will look like once finalized. It's okay to have some variations in the wording, but make sure you have both the mover and the seconder noted, with the result of the voting as well as what the resolution actually was. As you will see later, some items may deserve to have some more information or more detailed description of the resolution. At times, there may well be some discussions between each of the steps, and really the actual meetings can be very messy. Your role as a administrator is just to institute some structure in such intrinsically messy stakeholder affairs, and that is why you need to have special skill to take minutes. Anyway, let's go back to the meeting where Josh is now officially declaring the meeting to be open. There might be a few unfamiliar terms coming up in the next couple of minutes, but let's get through Josh's voting, and I will explain them a little bit later.
And so on that note, I can officially declare this meeting open. We do have a quorum as specified in the meeting's terms of reference. I might just quickly note our attendees for our minute taker. So I'm the chair, Josh Atkinson. With me today are some fellow members of the liaison committee, Nina D'Souza, Lauren Nagawata, Aria B, Gayan Gerku, Zahira Asif, Andrew Jumor, and Jamie Clark. I'll also further welcome Chris Westinghouse. Many of you know Chris is the manager of HR. And Chris is interested in some of the things we're going to be discussing today. So thank you, Chris, for coming along. And that's something that there might be some interest in some of the things going to provide in the HR department as well.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
So Josh, in his capacity as the chair of the meeting, has now declared that the meeting has indeed commenced, and just as he did, usually the chair will go through some of the administrative details at the beginning of the meeting, just to make sure that everything is good to go. You may have noticed Josh confirmed the quorum, which is the minimum number of members in attendance that are required to make any decisions made during the meeting valid. In other words, if you have not reached the quorum, anything you decide in this meeting won't have a legitimacy. You can see why it's good to check this at the beginning of the meeting instead of at the end. It is usually in this process that the chair will confirm the attendees, and you as the minute taker will take notes of all the people present at the meeting here. Now, if you have someone who is new to the committee or a WhatsApp guest, you can note it under welcome, unless there is a separated designated section. We'll get to that in a minute. And of course, one of the most important role, that is you as a minute taker, so please make sure you note your name in this section as well. And here is a list of attendees, so feel free to pause the video to take notes in case you need it. Please note that Chris Westinghouse is attending this meeting as a guest, which is why she will not be participating in the voting to be held later in the meeting. And because of her guest status, here you note Chris's attendance as the first agenda item. As said earlier, if you have someone who's new to the committee or at once not guest, you tend to note it under this welcome section or something similar. For the purpose of this task for this week, I have pre-filled it for you so you can read it as easily if you like. Anyway, let's go back to the meeting where Josh will start following through the agenda.
And so with that, I think I can move on to item 2 on the agenda, which is any apologies. So I know that I did get an apology from Andrew Pan. Isn't here today? Are there any other apologies that we can note?
I think John is out sick and Lisa is on vacation.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nina. So yeah, again, for our minute takers to note that John Smith and sorry, he was Lisa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Lisa Miller John Smith.
And Lisa is on vacation.
Isn't here today? Are there any? So I know that I did get an apology from Andrew Pan. Isn't here today? Are there any other apologies that we can note?
I think John is out sick and Lisa is on vacation.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nina. So yeah, again, for the next focus to make John Smith and sorry, who was going to Lisa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Miller.
So Josh now covered the second agenda item, which was apologies. Not that this means that anyone did anything wrong, but apologies means absence in the context of formal meetings. And you can say something like, Natalie is on apology today, or James sent his apology, and so on. It's part of the professional courtesy to send an apology well in advance, but Chair may well check to see if there are any last-minute apologies which you just hope and Josh confirm the apologies. And here is a list of the apologies for this meeting, in case you need it. And with those noted, let's go back to the meeting where Josh will. part where I interrupted, which is the agenda item 3.
So that's our apologies. I think that we can move on to item 3, which is the minutes of the previous meeting. Those minutes were attached to the agenda, and I hope you all had a chance to review them. I know that you were present, I'm the only one who was present at the previous meeting, and so I can assure you all that they are broadly speaking reflective of what was discussed. If anyone notices anything that during the discussion, maybe you can raise it. Otherwise, could I get someone to move the minutes of the previous meeting?
So here is another process of making a decision. This time the intention is to confirm the minutes from the previous meeting. I won't go through step by step, so watch carefully to see if they follow the process. Thanks
so much, James. So James, having moved our previous meeting, it's going to get someone to second those minutes.
I can now second.
Thanks so much, Andrew. And so now those have been moved, I think we can once more put them to a vote. And so yeah, again, those in favour, if you could give us the thumbs up, and those against, give us the thumbs down. All right, and once again, those that's passed unanimously. So those minutes are confirmed unanimously. Right, and so I think that takes us through to item 4, which is the business arising from the previous meeting minutes. And there wasn't anything listed there, so we are coming with our fresh items for discussion today, and that allows us to jump forward to item 5, which is the items for today's meeting.
So observe here how Josh, in his capacity as the chair, is leading the meeting, using the agenda as a framework. The chair's role is really important. They have to be the timekeeper, the facilitator, the administrator, and so on, while making sure that the meeting is actually taking place in a procedurally sound manner. A good chair makes your role as the minutes taker much easier, and you often see in many effective meetings a strong leadership of the chair as much as the members. By the way, did you notice that Josh sort of skipped the item number 4 for the business arising from the previous minutes? This item is supposed to cover some of the things carried over from the last meeting, such as action items and something that did not get a result. There are a number of items like this, which stay semi-permanently in the agenda as a placeholder, even if there is nothing to be discussed, and they are called standing items, which are usually separated from other items that are tabled as one-off items in the agenda. Anyway, let's get up to the meeting again and pick up from the item 5.1.
So starting with 5.1, which is the chair's report. And so I suppose what I'm saying is there isn't that much to report. There is a little bit of discussion in management about reviewing this committee's activities and thinking a little bit more about how it can contribute to the firm's professional development activities broadly, and that is in the form of training sessions and workshops. That is one of the reasons, of course, that Chris is attending with us today to further our discussions. This is something we're going to discuss a little bit more this meeting as well. Aside from that, I'm not sure that there's much additional to say in terms of the chair's report.
So I just pause it here. One thing for you to consider is how to capture the record given by Josh at 10. You will not need to transcribe everything he said. You can pick up some of the key points, such as that the committee's activities are being reviewed and so on. You can use dot points if you want, but make sure you have a sentence or two to make sense of those dot points, and the information you document is one way or another complete. You might, for example, say something like this. Even though it was a short report, there were some points clearly made, so try capturing them and see how you go. So let's get back to the meeting, where we are now moving on to the item 5.2.
That does lead us quite neatly to our next agenda item, which is item 5. which is Google Drive training sessions for the finance team. And so there's been a request from the finance team management. Basically, they have a desire for their team to be using Google Drive and its features more actively to collaborate more effectively and to be more efficient. But there's a sort of thought that the staff there really don't have the training and the skills.
But Josh, I believe that Google Drive is such a good tool, and I believe not many staff know how to use it effectively. Why don't we do it for the entire organization rather than just the finance team?
I think that's an excellent idea. I think what I would say at the moment, we've been requested to provide this training. I think that idea of providing it more broadly probably is a good idea. I'm not sure if everyone needs it, so that might be something for us to follow up. I think we're, you can just note that many broader discussions are here. We'll wait until we run the first set of sessions for the finance team, and then that's something that we can probably follow up on, with other teams, whether it's appropriate. I think it's possible.
That makes sense. Right.
So more on the chair's role. At the moment, Josh is on his mission to keep the discussion focused on the topic. And when Zahir raised the idea of extending the scope of the training, he politely steered the discussion back to the main focus of this agenda. One of the important roles of the chair is to keep the focus of the meeting, and the chair may have to decide on spot whether one of what's raised at the meeting is something they can discuss as part of the meeting. Anyway, getting back to the chair's facilitation techniques, you'll see in the next few moments Josh facilitating further the discussion. So let's see.
Yeah, we've got items 5.2.1 use the format of the training set. If we think actually how we might go about running these trainings, I've got, I want to do this before, I know lots of you guys have experience with this. So is there anything anyone would like to share about how we might actually run these training sessions?
Here you just saw a facilitation technique by Josh at the chair of the meeting to set the parameter of the discussion to follow, again according to the agenda. Josh, for example, clarified that this discussion should focus on how this training session is to be held, implying that it is a done deal that the team will hold this session one way or another. He also opened explicitly the discussion to follow, so that others will know what they can now contribute. These are often subtle but very important techniques to adapt. So let's see how the discussion goes, and you will see more of Josh's facilitation techniques as we go.
Yeah, I can share something. So I think we should probably offer 2 lots of sessions, some online and some in the office. I think we're kind of being pretty prevalent at the moment, but we should be offering some online sessions as well as on premise for those that are actually coming to the office. So I think we should probably run them over a week or two, maybe multiple sessions of both.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we'll let it there. That makes sense to me. I've got an idea as well. So that would be our good running point in our premises, because we are able to do lots of those meetings today every month. So that all makes sense to me. Anyone else have any other suggestions in terms of format and kind of how we run the sessions? That's okay if there are other suggestions. I think that what you suggested there, Danny, makes a lot of sense. And so I think to follow on from that, we're running over the course of a couple of weeks. That sounds really good to me.
Here you also see another facilitation technique by Josh at the chair of the meeting. In this instance, even though no one had anything to contribute with others in addition to Jamie's ideas, Josh was making sure that everyone had an opportunity to chip in. You also have seen Josh summarizing, reiterating, and consolidating some of the ideas suggested by Jamie as well. All these techniques are subtle but important in order to make the meeting more inclusive and engaging, all while maintaining the quality of the structure in the meeting and its discussion. And we'll see more of these as the group goes through further discussion, so let's keep observing the group further and make sure you keep taking notes as that discussion develops.
And I suppose that brings us to when we might actually run these sessions, just the on that format.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. When do you want to come?
Yeah, so I know you had a suggestion about that.
So I would like to organize this training on September or August.
Yeah, so I think that idea of getting done soon sounds pretty good to me.
October.
Well,
Maybe
I
clarify that.
appreciate the need to do it soon for the team, but I really think we need to wait till at least October, because there's, as all of us know, there's currently the Cloud Uplift project going on, and we're not going to have access to all the staff really until October because they're tied up in that project. We've also got the school holidays coming up in September, which affects a lot of staff being able to participate. So I really think October is probably the soonest we can manage for these training sessions.
Yeah, I think that October's probably the other for that now. So it sounds like we're in a position. Where we kind of have a sense that we should run these sessions both online and in person during the month of October. What I might do Jamie's also mentioned the second sort of sub-item on the agenda here is the coordination role, somebody to actually coordinate these sessions. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer to sort of plan and run these sessions?
So now we are seeing Josh starting to wrap up the discussion so that he can package it as a council proposal to a motion for the group to pass the vote later on. The group had some open discussion, and Josh is really trying to converge all the bits and pieces into a singular resolution. You probably noticed that Josh picked up some of the key ideas and points discussed already, and summarized and rephrased them in such a way so that the group can agree on. And Josh also made sure to address the remaining agenda item, that is item 5.2.2, which is about the coordination role for these training sessions. So in the next couple of minutes, we will see Josh facilitating further discussion on the coordination role, but after that, we will start the formal decision-making process. So let's go back to the meeting and see how it goes.
Yeah, I can volunteer to do that one. I know the team well. People are working with the group.
Yeah, I can volunteer as well. Same thing.
All right, so in that case, we might, it's okay, Neil, might let Jamie sort of take a lead on that one, and absolutely, you can feel free to join in to assist you. So I might propose, that I might request, I suppose, that somebody move the motion for this. It sounds like the motion would be, that we will run both in-person and online Google Drive training sessions over the course of a couple of weeks in the month of October to be coordinated by Jamie Clark. Is it possible for you to get somebody to move the motion?
I can move that motion.
Thanks so much, Andrew. And if I could get somebody to second the motion. Thanks so much, everyone. So now that motion has been seconded, we can put it to vote. Those in favour of the motion, or thumbs up, thumbs down. Right, that looks like that was once again a unanimous set of thumbs up. So thank you everyone so much for that.
So we just have seen another iteration of the decision-making process. Please make sure you follow and document the process. This, and also make sure to document the resolution for what has been agreed clearly in your minutes, please. And by the way, in this instance, you will still need to document what was discussed, as well as what was decided. And you can follow the format you use for the chair's report, and it may look like this. This, of course, is just to give you some ideas of how you can run your text, so you will have to complete the descriptions yourself in more details. And the discussion was not just about format and time too, so make sure you document thoroughly. A common mistake is to document things like who said what, but unless it was specifically requested, you only need to pick up the key ideas and the points raised without attributing to someone specific. It is a bit different from the chair's report earlier, where who said what actually mattered. Here, the purpose of documentation is to capture the ideas raised as part of the discussion, in which case attribution of ideas to specific individuals may not be relevant. It will then be followed by the documentation of the decision-making process, just like you did earlier. Again, I only give you some ideas for possible wording as a model, and you will have to complete it with more details. So let us go back to the meeting again. The group is now moving to the next agenda item, which is item 6.
And so that I think takes care of the main discussion item that we had previously. So the next agenda item is the other business that anyone might want to raise. So is there anything that anyone else wanted to raise?
So for item 6, no one seems to have anything to chip in, which is okay. This means that there is nothing that comes under item 6, doesn't it? So how would you take minutes for such an item? Well, for this item, you can simply state now. You can also use this for item 4, business arising from the previous minutes, where there wasn't anything that was raised, for example. Similarly, at times you may find some items already listed in the agenda item, but they may get carried over to the next meeting. You can then write something like this to indicate that it's been deferred to a later meeting. Sometimes some items may overlap with each other and get discussed as part of an earlier or another item, in which case you might write something like this. These things happen, and you can be flexible how you document these decisions, which is part of the art of minutes taking. So we are getting closer to the end of the meeting, so please make sure you include a couple of more points to be raised for item 7, after which we will see Josh closing the meeting.
Yeah, then so I think it sounds like we move on to agenda item 7, which is items to move. And so I might propose one of those, which is for Jamie to report back on how those sessions actually have gone. And based on that report, we can then, as you suggested, think about whether we extend those sessions, similar sessions to other things in the presentation. So yeah, we'll take it from that item for next meeting. Any other items for next meeting? Doesn't sound like it, so that's okay. In that, I think that probably the solution to bring the meeting to a close. So just to note the final agenda item there is that our next meeting is scheduled for Friday the 28th of October this year for 2 p.m. and once again it will be via Zoom. And we can then bring this meeting to a close at 5:37 p.m. So thank you all for your attendance and participation. And I'll look forward to the next meeting.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
So here you go, very nicely done. And now that the meeting is over, you are going to clean up your notes and transfer the information into the minutes format using the template. If you have typed in straight into the template, that is fine. You can clean it up, delete all the hints and advertise, and finalize the minutes, which will be your part 8 portfolio submission for the week. In reality, what you will do is to send it as a draft to the chair for approval.